Today, we are going to be talking about how G2 broke Valorant. They completely revitalized the meta on one of the oldest and most stale maps in the game. As you can see here, MIBR, boring, old comp, you've ran this for 3 years, but G2, with Waylay, with Teo, with Vice, have completely revitalized the meta. So let's go ahead and break that down and see how they did it. But first, I'm going to be answering one question in the comments, so go ahead and leave a comment. But question from the last video is, do you think VCT is old enough to have a GOAT debate? That was by Rango Tango. And my answer is yes, I think that it is, right? It's been a good couple years now, but I also think that if your GOAT isn't ASPAS, you aren't really making a good faith argument. I don't think that you can say that ASPAS isn't the GOAT and be taken seriously. So with this Jogamo almost ace, let's go ahead and break this down. Let's take a look at the bonus round strat from G2, and I like it. You have Leaf, who's on a bit of a weaker buy, you have him flanking, but MIBR, they have a one-way setup, and then ASPAS can go ahead and get flashed into this area. The issue is G2 using that Teo stun. I feel like it's honestly underrated in how good it is. The Teo stun can just really mess up your day, obviously overshadowed by Waylay. However, Xenom over here, the video pauses with the aura of that 3K right there to end the round. I mean, there's the age-old question of, right, how many times would you ult on ASPAS if it gave you 10% of his skill? Xenom did that at least 50 times. Honestly, I would too. I mean, I can't blame the guy. That was insane aim right there. Leaf ends up getting a kill and then dying. So it's going to be 2-1, G2 still on top. And let's look at how they're using all these new agents. And when I said broke Valorant, I mean it. See, on this map, Waylay has almost never been used until recently because she didn't exist. But look at what they do here. Using the Teo missiles to break this trip so that he can be mid without them knowing, hey, he is mid, then they're going to use this ult, but not to try and get a kill. They use it to cut off these players. As you can see here, the Teo drone was used to get these players to back off because, you know, you don't want your setup to be suppressed for your Cypher. Then they use the Waylay ult. You don't want to get touched by that. I promise you, it is not a good touching, not a good feeling. That stun is painful. So it gains the space there for G2, gets them the site for free, but there's one issue. They don't have much utility here to try and stop MIBR from retaking the site. So they say, hey, Jogamo, can you go kill someone? He's like, yeah, sure. I'm on the Waylay. Why not? You know, I got it. No, something light for a guy like me. Kills Cortesia, and now Artisan is hoping, hey, he's going to come in the smoke. I'm going to get a judge kill. Every little thing is going to be all right, but it's not going to be all right here. And a bit of a timing issue as well, because Artisan's going to end up running away, and then Jogamo, as you can see here, hears him and goes, okay, well, I guess I'll kill you now. And then he does. After that, MIBR like, okay, 3v5 retake. Not very good odds. Let's go ahead and save. ASPAS, you're the GOAT. Please go kill. And again, Waylay's place in the meta, I think Jogamo said it best the first time he ran her, which is it's going to be an improved Jet. And I think you can see that, right? Jet cannot do that right there. I think that a lot of Jet players will be good, but honestly, I think some Raze and Neon players should be good at her as well. It's not like the movement is too crazy. So, for example, I think this could be something that you could try if Demon 1 was still on Duelist to implement on Bind or something funky like that, like on a Raze map. If you still want him on Duelist, have him play the Waylay, move around a little bit, use her stuns for those close corners. But we'll have to see. I know Raze's nades are very, very useful there as well, so we will end up having to see kind of how it gets used on maps like those. But so far, for breaking Ascent, it is done just fine. But there is a rat within the midst of G2 here. MIBR, Artisan. Some people could call him a shotgun rat. Some people could. I vividly remember his Raze on split being enabled almost entirely by some shotgun plays that were just insane. Probably the most ratty shotgun player at the tier 1 level. However, that makes G2 want to run away, but they're willing to give up the rifle because, as you can see here, they scale up mid. But watch out what Leaf does here. See, Leaf is over here lurking on this Vice, you know, as you do. But as soon as he gets this kill into Cortesia, the pivot comes. Now we're not going A through here anymore. We're going to go up through mid. Soba's the only person left on site, and he's about to die to Leaf as well. Leaf grabs the orb so he can pop the Steel Garden. Verno dies, and now it is a 4v3, and it might be our save again. By the way, guys, let me know what you think about Verno to MIBR in the comments. He's looked pretty good, and him and ASPAS seem to have a very nice relationship. Maybe he's Saucy 2.0, but just let me know what you think. Anyways, G2 going to win the round, making it 4-1. And to be honest, for attack side Ascent, this is pretty good. It would also be pretty good if you could hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 5K, and it would be wonderful if I got it off this video, which is actually possible. So, anyways, Jogamo is going to go ahead entry onto the site. The funny thing is, though, that he entries and then immediately runs out, as you can see here. Sees Verno, says, I'm good on that, and then just walks into the site. Again, some of the advantages of Waylay. If you don't like what you see, you can dip. You can reset, right? He didn't really reset here, obviously, but it is an option. You go in, you see a stack, then Waylay's like, oh, I'm going to leave, and then you go to the other bomb site. He gets a nice timing here onto Aspas, and then Cortesia able to get one here as well to trade him out. And Cortesia is about to face SEAL Team 6 here, spamming him from behind the box. Again, 1-for-1. Good trades, right? And then you have to go for this if you're MIBR. Not only is it a 3v3, but you've saved the last 2 rounds in retake scenarios. Valen trying to get some value, not really able to with the smoke spam. Trent gets one, but again, you still have to go for this, right? You've saved. Eventually, those guns are going to disappear. You need to try. And Verno, I mean, great job here getting that kill onto Valen. Again, him and Aspas seem to be friends and stuff, which is wonderful, but he also is just a good player. You know, some of Aspas's friends have been a bit, let's say, subpar, as Jonah P has an insane clutch there, by the way. But some of Aspas's friends in the past have been a bit subpar. So it's nice to see one who is very, very good in his own right, so that you don't have to bring the org down when you sign one of Aspas's friends. In my BR, I've been taking great care of Aspas. Again, it's like in a real sport, like the NFL or something, you cater to your star players. You make them happy. And Lev didn't do that too well. MIBR, done a great job. No words, just watch this clip from Jogamo.
That ultimate too. I can't express enough how important the kills Verno keeps finding are. Again, around where they've now opened up the real possibility of going for a retake. He's got the Hunter's Fury to get into this too.
Big mural. Should be pretty obvious to MIBR though, expecting a player A main, 2 on the site.
Yeah, honestly, won't be any time to use that ult. It's going to come down to the gunfights. Can Aspas actually get a kill? Unreal. He does. That's a great opener.
In a split second before the tail util comes in, he gets the shot now up to Jorg. 1v3. Verno's down. He's knocking him apart. Above him, and Aspas. The headshot connects, and surely not Jorg.
I was trying to throw the lion off of my head into you if you guys were watching the face cam. It didn't work, clearly. But here's the little guy. Anyways, after that, MIBR are forced onto an eco. It's pretty much Aspas, save us with knives, or our players can save with sheriffs. MIBR do have a lot of crazy sheriff aimers. Think of Cortesia? Cortesia? I think it's Cortesia. Please don't murder me in the comments for mispronouncing it, bro. But anyways, they do kind of an aggressive play here, which is, hey, Aspas, you know, you've whiffed a knife or two, but go ahead, get in there. We know where the execute's coming from. We're going to shock dart him, soften him up for you, my king. Go kill him. And then boom, boom. A little bit of a whiff, but he's able to survive because of the blind right there. And after that, you've got first blood, a rifle that can be recovered as soon as they leave the area, which G2 almost instantly leave the area. So you're in a pretty good spot. I'm also in a pretty good spot with this thumbnail. So if you did like the thumbnail and noticed, hey, that's a lot better than what he normally does, the creator of it will be in the description. Did it for free. Awesome guy. Hit him up on Discord if you want some amazing thumbnails like that. Anyways, what Leaf did there was almost not amazing, but he's able to get it to a 4v4 after that whiff. And now, again, G2 still had the advantage, overwhelmingly. The rifle hasn't been recovered by MIBR. They can't now because G2 is on the site, but after that bit of smoke spam is where it gets interesting. Because yes, it's a 3v4. Yes, you have guns, but with Valen being so low, you need to still take fights before MIBR can recover weapons. And that's what Leaf's trying to do there. But Valen dies, and suddenly this round looks like it's probably lost unless Jonah P or Leaf can pull out a hero play. To their credit, they try their very best here, right? Aspas with the knives, jumping out. Jonah P gets 2, but then Cortesia able to spam him out. But Leaf is 1 HP here. He knows Artisan's coming from main, but such a smart play to go over on this side because you're not thinking about it, right? Then gets that kill, 1v1 from not really an off angle necessarily, but just an unexpected position. Then, though, amazing play there by Artisan. Goes, sticks half, gets off, kills Leaf, wins the round for MIBR. And again, this old comp is definitely outclassed by the new one, but there's a reason this was the meta for 3 to 4 years on Ascent. It is still a good, solid comp. It's just outclassed by this insanely broken stuff that G2 are doing.
Those who know.
Let's take a look at MIBR on attack here, though, and just take a look at how G2 is able to use the new comp for their defense. For example, you have that Vice instead of a Cypher, which is a really big switch up, honestly. I don't think I've seen Vice on Ascent much, if at all, since she released. Obviously, Ascent wasn't in the map pool for a large time, but this is the first time I think I've seen it, and I'm pretty locked in on this. But look at what Jogamo can do here, and I really think Waylay's Refract is very underrated. You can see here he overcooks hard, right? Aspas doesn't clear Leaf, though. Leaf with some jumping shenanigans. But again, I think that Vice on Ascent is an interesting thing that I want to explore and kind of see how it looks for teams. But yeah, I mean, Trent makes it a 1v3, and then Cortegia, he, tries to get away from tomfoolery. And you have to keep in mind here, 1v3s, especially when you don't have any, like, util because he's on the Cypher. Like, he has a cam, so yeah, you could, I don't know, plant and do a cam, play off the cam from main, stuff like that. But it's going to be very hard to do that. And if you're playing from main, you're going to get salvoed out. As you can see here, the salvo is used there, but they will refresh. And it just wouldn't make sense, especially against Valen with his smokes. As you can see, your smokes off main with the ping change, you're not going to be able to spam 3 people off the spike. He gets a little nervous, right? He looks like he might be able to get away with some tomfoolery, but he is not. And MIBR lose here. G2, great job, 4-9. MIBR choose to force up here, and I don't agree with it. I understand why you do it. You don't want them to get to 10 rounds, but it ends up getting them to 11. I think that forcing on rounds like these should only happen if it's like a 3-9. It would be 3-11 is a maybe. If it's going to give a match point, then sure. But I just feel like it doesn't make sense. You are not going to have the weaponry to contend with this. Jogamo's outlaw here is insane. It gets 2 people, to be fair, already both kind of dinked up. And then the other 2 have full shield. It just doesn't work out and kind of throws it around. Well, I wasn't able to watch this game live. I had some issues, but I was watching Game 1 live. So go ahead and, watch partying that. Check me out. But when I saw the VLR, I was like, oh, they must have had some insane ascent strategy for defense to win the bonus. And it was just like, no, the bonus for them was just easier than the anti-eco, to be honest, because they kind of flopped them with that force. This round is so funny to me. MIBR is so scared. It's an eco for G2. MIBR is so scared of the Waylay and Tailwalt combo. They do not want to push this choke point, so they sit here and sit here and sit here. They do a bit of a fake A with that knife, and then they sit here. And then we chill. I think this is a good time to remind you guys to subscribe because I'm trying to hit 5K off this video. And with this thumbnail, I really think I can. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe. We'll just wait. Like one of those teachers in grade school when like the kids were acting up and like, oh, it's okay, I'll wait. And they didn't understand like no one cared about like addition or whatever because we wanted to like talk to people in the 2nd grade. Anyways, we're actually now back into the execute, so I can actually say things that are related to Valorant. Wild. Anyways, we go over towards B. By we, I mean MIBR. I'm basically ass pass. MIBR goes over towards B. Once the smokes come out, Waylay ult gets popped, and with that, MIBR are like, actually, no, I'm good. I'm good on that, gang, and run away. Jogamo tries to push, can't get too much done, and again, the E, just so powerful. It's basically a buff TP, to be honest. He's like, yeah, I don't want to take this fight anymore. Well, guess what? I don't have to take this fight anymore. It's wonderful. The regen shield regens, and then MIBR are headed over towards A. But remember the Tailwalt they feared so much? It's about to come into play, but not before Jonah P, with one of their 2 hero rifles, swings into his own molly to get the first blood. But now, look at this. The Tailwalt, and there are 3 different types of people here. Look at what happens. Artisan goes forward, Aspas goes to the side, Verno goes back. Let's see who lives. Not Artisan. He went, you can barely see it, he went into a, like, Vice Thorn, ended up getting slowed and killed. Aspas now is hindered and is whiffing pretty badly because of the hindrance, but Verno able to get the kill on Trent. After Leaf pops this, Steel Garden is pretty much GG's, right? You don't have much time to plant. I truly thought he was going for a knife here on the planter, which would have been really cool, but G2 win the round on time there with the Thrifty, and at this point, it's pretty much over, right? You can't get 6 rounds attack side ascent in like normal mirror comp versus mirror comp. It would be next to impossible to get against this comp with all their stall utility. Plus, you have to get them all in a row. I just don't think it's really possible. Xenom has a really cold clutch here, and I just wanted to say he's been such a good addition to the MIBR roster. I know that Aspas is going to get a lot of the attention, and he deserves it, as well as Verno now, the new addition, but he's very quietly become a guy who's able to get the kills when they need it, get the clutches when they need it. He's not going to necessarily dominate the stat sheet, and he's not going to be a Som who's dropping 50 every series, but he's a guy who's clutch when needed, cold, does what he did. And by the way, the 50 was in a 2-map series. He definitely could do 50 in a 3-map series. But yeah, he's just been kind of a cold, clutch guy. But let's take a look at this last round here. On this last round here, MIBR want to hit A until they get KO knifed, and then they're like, okay, you know what? We're going to do a big brain play. We're going to fake like we're rotating. Everyone run, make all the noise, knives out, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to re-hit the site. But no one on G2 moves, and G2 are so good at not being fooled by fake rotations, right? Instead, they use information. Look at this drone to be like, okay, now we know this. Does that mean they've rotated? I don't know. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But I just love how they're not as easily kind of fooled by fake rotations as other teams. And as you can see here, there are 3 players on this A site instantly, right? As soon as the confirmation is here that, hey, MIBR are here, they have the most well-defended choke point in history. We have a Teo missile, we have Vice Thorns, and we have a KO Molly. You're not getting through there. Even Aspas is going to end up, if he tried to, for some reason, dash through there, he would end up being slowed by the Thorns and then die to the KO Molly, most likely. Cortesia gets found out here, and now it looks rough for MIBR because Jogamo in a great position. Like, genuinely, this is a decision that probably wins the game to go all the way around and then come down here when they're up mid. Now he looks, he hears the people up mid, he gets the kill on the Cypher, and then boom, let's see if I can get something done. A little bit of whiffage, but once Aspas dies here, Verno has to do a ton. Omen Paranoia, by the way, there from Xeno was elite. Like, genuinely. The timing on this to, and I'm assuming he already had it kind of pre-prepped, right? For Aspas when he entered the choke, but then boom, get it for me. Verno gets the kill, and now 2v2 situation. Great job from Verno, gets the dart down, right? But that's probably going to be the last great job from Verno, as in this 1v2, he seems kind of unaware. Trent has his salvos online, and what this means is you need to tap that bomb like now as I'm speaking, even though the video is paused. I know, figure it out. You're a pro player. I'm kidding. But you need to tap because he's going to salvo you out. And then he takes a lot of time. He's clearing the site. He's, you know, and I'm not saying plant the bomb for the record. I'm saying tap for half a second and then just be quiet so that those salvos get out and then you can plant instead of now. Played beautifully by G2, except for right here. Trent swinging here, I don't know about. And granted, really the problem for me starts a bit earlier. Right here, Verno may have had time to plant. So as soon as Trent jiggles and gets him off, and he has confirmation here that he's off, run for the hills, knife out, run until you're off ascent and onto like icebox or something. Because that swing, there is a world in which Verno gets that kill, is all I'm saying. But thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked any part of this, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5K. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a great rest of your day. I hope the girl you like asks you out. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.